everyone, I'm Aveline. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. I'm not. So this week is just, I'm not feeling great, so I'm gonna have to cut down on the videos this week, but I promise that I'm gonna make a strong return on Monday, and I'm super excited for what we're doing next week as well. It has absolutely nothing to do with what I posted over on the community tab a couple of days ago. Or does it? I don't, well, anyway. So I actually had a theme week planned for this week, and I have the houses ready still. Although this one was one of the houses, so I was going to do a decades week because it's been requested so much, and I found the cutest houses. Obviously, I don't really know what to do with the interiors, like, I'm not gonna lie, but at least for the exteriors of the houses, I found the cutest houses, and I was so ready. But it's just been, sleep deprivation has hit hard this week, and I feel it really badly today, so I've been feeling nauseous all day, and it's not good, it's not great. So I'm just gonna take it easy, not upload tomorrow, and then next week we're gonna have some fun with some challenges. So if you haven't already, and you got some favorite challenges you'd like to see from me, see me try them out and stuff, leave a comment over on the community tab, or just leave one in the comment section here. And I will do my best to do as many of them as I can, and we're gonna have some fun with it. I don't often do anything other than builds on the channel, so I'm looking forward to trying out some new things, or at least, like, I don't know, move out of my comfort zone a little bit, if you will. But yeah, if there's anything you'd like to see, like a challenge that you love a lot, a build challenge specifically, by the way, let me know. I know that a lot of you have requested shell challenges, or at least mentioned shell challenges. I don't do shell challenges. And I have a proper reason. I don't want to get into it because I no. But I've explained it before on stream. So we're not gonna be doing that, but other challenges we can for sure do. So anything else, let me know. But as for today's build, we're building a house that is inspired by a house that I found in a magazine from 1925. So it was called something like Dutch Influence, which I get, like, I sort of understand. Well, I do understand it. And so I decided to just make a few differences to the house, like a few. I took some creative liberties with the house. I changed the roofing a little bit to give it this, like, super cottagey shape, add some fairy tale vibes to it, if you will. But I kept the shape of the house as well as I could, because honestly, the shape of the house in the magazine was a little bit confusing, I'm not gonna lie. Like, they showed two different pictures, and the two different pictures did not match up at all. There was a floor plan for one of the pictures, and then the other one kind of looked like the second house, but it wasn't the same house. I don't know. I'll link it in the description, by the way, if you want to check it out so you can see the original. But I would say I ended up taking inspiration from it, however, did end up also changing it a little bit just because I felt like, I don't know. First of all, it wasn't really translatable into The Sims, like, one-on-one or one-to-one. That's what it's called, one-to-one. And second of all, I just wanted to put my own spin on it as well. I really thought this was gonna look super cute with, like, a little bit of a quirky kind of roofing situation as well, so that's what I ended up doing. And I did come into or run into some issues as well with the back of the build. Didn't really know what to do with that for a while, but we figured something out, so everything is good. And I hope you guys will like this house. It is for, I don't know about the interior, by the way, just to touch on it quickly. It 1920s interior, for me that sounds like Art Deco, and that doesn't really fit the vibe of this house. So I didn't go that route. Hopefully you get what I'm like, hopefully you understand that I don't, Art Deco in this house, yeah, no. So I instead went with a more traditional mixed with some cottage vibes, if you will, and for the children's rooms, because we are a little bit more limited when it comes to children's furniture and decor and stuff. I feel like my voice is gonna give up at some point during this voiceover. That's kind of bad. Let's try and Cross your fingers that we're gonna get through this. Thank you. But the teen and the child's room, I also disregarded this whole. I mean, I would say at least the child's room has a cottage vibe to it, but the teen's room a little bit less so. And it's just because we don't really have a lot of stuff for like that's vibe, and still we'll make it look like a children's room essentially, or we probably do, and I just don't know how to put it together so that it fits with the theme or something. But as for the rest, I tried to make it look a little bit old, maybe not exactly 1925, which is when the magazine was released, which is when the floor plan was released, but at least trying to make it look a little bit old. So you won't find any modern vibes in this house or any contemporary vibes. No, none of that. We're definitely trying to stay a little bit on theme today. But I am excited to do a decades theme week at some point. I just apparently both need more time and also need more sleep so that I don't feel physically bad. I don't know. You guys know as well, if you've been on the channel, watched for a while, that I go through phases where I just can't sleep and it's awful. And sometimes it's not just to quickly touch on it, sometimes it's not just falling asleep that's an issue. It's also that I wake up in the middle of the night and then I can't fall asleep again. So it's just like, it's like a cycle. Like I just get so tired that at some point my body just says, okay, now she's gonna sleep, and then I'm good for a while, but then slowly I'm going back through that cycle again. So I'm unfortunately at a bad point right now. I'm sure some of you can relate as well, and it's just been like going downhill since like Sunday. I don't know if I mentioned it in the video earlier this week, but I think I might have actually, because that video was late as well. I don't know. It's been a whole thing. It's fine. Everything's fine. I just need to sleep, essentially. I'm sure it also has to do with the fact that the sun goes down at like 4 these days. Like the sun just goes by at 4 p.m. I don't like it. I don't know. I feel a lot of sympathy for those of you who live further up north. For my fellow Nordic people, like I don't know how you can handle that as a Dane. Technically, I'm a southerner, a southern Scandinavian person. That feels weird, right? Yeah, I don't feel very southerner. But technically, I am, and we don't get it as bad here as they do further up north, but it's so dark and gray all the time. But anyway, as for the house, so we're building this house. I think I've, yes, basically covered the whole 1925. It is for 2 parents, a teen, and also a kid. I cannot remember, did I make this for, is there room for a pet in it as well? I can't remember. That sucks. But there might be. It'll be a surprise if there is. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. Well, it would surprise me. It would be a surprise for me too. There you go. I had to clarify that with myself. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I might have forgotten to place down a hood in this kitchen right now that I think about it, while we're cluttering it up, just like adding all the clutter, but making sure that one of the counters is still free so that it doesn't mess up with your gameplay. That trick with the mugs in the sink, I think I saw either one of the gurus took a picture of that and shared it on Twitter, or they retweeted a picture of someone else who'd done that and shared it or retweeted it on Twitter. I don't have to clarify that it's on Twitter, but still, just in case you're wondering. So that's not something that I came up with, but I thought it looked so cute also because one of the swatches, or 2 of the swatches actually, look like the mugs are used, like they're dirty, so they just fit perfectly into the sink. I did have to adjust it a little bit with, I think I used Tulle for that actually. I could have also used the shelf, but I think I used Tulle. So I wish I could remember who retweeted it, but I think I saw it just very quickly and then was like, oh yeah, that's cute. And then when I was building the day after, I was like, wait, should I do that? So I thought it looked cute. Sometimes it's the pots that end up in the sink, and now we can also go for the mugs instead. So very, very cute trick, but not mine. And I also completely got sidetracked by the mugs. This is built on what I think is the 30 by 20, and we're building in Windenburg because I just felt like the house that I saw fit best into Windenburg. So that's what I decided to go with. I also decided to build on this lot because I I didn't really want to do like a proper traditional kind of backyard or side yard. I wanted to focus more on just like atmosphere in the landscaping surrounding the house, if that makes sense. So not necessarily functionality, but more like looks, if you get what I mean. And so we're building on this lot today and just having a little bit of fun with terrain tools outside. I also had to adjust a lot of the rocks while I was doing the landscaping as well because they were kind of floating and stuff, but it's fine. Tool is there for a reason, so. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention was that I think the original house was actually supposed to be white. I think I used the same combination of wood siding or wood paneling, paddling? I didn't mean to say paddling, I meant to say paneling. Anyway, I'm blaming it on the no sleep thing. So, sleep deprivation. It's great. Anyway, but I think I used the same combination of wood paneling or wood siding, whatever you want to call that, and also brick. But I decided to go for red for the wood paneling because I just thought it looks so cute. I don't often use red, but I was going through some of the different kinds of like more cottagey, rustic looking wood sidings that we have in the game, and we have both the ones from what's it called? Island Living? Yeah, Island Living, and then the new werewolves wood siding, which is super cute for these kinds of houses. And for the swatches, as soon as I saw there was a red one with the werewolves wood siding, I was like, I gotta use it. I hate red houses. Okay, I don't hate them. That's a very strong emotion. They're just not for me personally. You get what I mean? Like, I don't hate them because that's a bit extreme. Like, red didn't choose to be red. So, I just grew up with a mom who really loves red, so I'm a bit like, call me a rebel, call me a rebel. But I don't love the color red, so I tend to avoid it if I can for both interiors because I feel like it's very overpowering, but also for like red brick is fine because it's like red leaning on brown. But also, yes, that TV is floating right now. I do fix it while I take the screenshots. I did not know that it was floating. I did not notice. So we're gonna go back and change that later. Don't worry. But if any of you had noticed. Also, this is the first time I noticed that the house is actually not on, like, it's on a diagonal if you use tool, which is so annoying, but whatever. It's kind of, there's a couple of lots that I just avoid. Also apartments that I tend to avoid because tool, the grid is just not like lined up with the lot. Anyway, it makes it a little bit difficult to make like small adjustments and stuff. Actually, not the small one, the bigger ones, the bigger adjustments. But yes, the red. But usually I will try to avoid using red wood siding for exteriors of houses just because I don't like the look of it. It's a little bit too much. It might also be because the reds that we have in The Sims are so saturated that they just kind of become overpowering, exactly. So I was a little bit surprised when I saw it because I just thought it was perfect. I was like, this is red. What's happening? This is weird. Why am I doing this? Like, why are we going for red today? Very strange. But I think it fits. I also like how it looks with the landscaping that I ended up doing. I tied a little bit of, we're not on the exterior just yet. Like, I think I focused on doing the floor plan and decorating the interior before I actually ended up choosing a color scheme for the exterior, but I ended up basically tying in the red wood paneling or wood siding with some rose bushes as well in the landscaping, so I think it ended up like it turned out fine. I just wanted to rant a little bit about using red wood siding because I never do. So this is the teen's bedroom, and it's very stands out a lot compared to the rest of the house, but this is just the vibe that I wanted to go for in the moment. I think I wanted to go for a swatch for that bed that I don't usually use, and this one is for some reason one that I tend to kind of stay away from. I can't really tell you why, like I don't really know why, but the rest of the room was just kind of inspired by that color scheme, so it doesn't look 1920s, not even one bit, but like I mentioned earlier, the both the teens room and the child's room are not necessarily supposed to fit with the rest of the house like that. Also, because it's not supposed to be for like cosplay or not cosplay. That's not what I meant. That's when you dress up. I can't remember what it's called right now. So it's not supposed to be for like, there's a decades challenge where you have to dress up your Sims, or at least I think you do, have to dress up your Sims so they fit with a certain decade, like our decades, like our history. I think that's a thing. I'm pretty sure. As someone who doesn't do gameplay at all, I'm pretty sure that's a thing. So maybe don't take my word for it, but I feel like I've heard about that challenge before. This house will not do for that challenge because it's not historically correct and it's not supposed to be. It was never the goal to make it historically correct. Otherwise, I would have been doing a lot of research and stuff, but for these decades houses, I think I just mainly want to focus on the exterior and make that more like inspired by the decade, if that makes sense. Also, because I don't know, to be honest, like to be completely honest, it's also because I kind of want to avoid using too much of the base game stuff. I don't like the look of it. So it just kind of bothers me a little bit, like the base game, the traditional base game stuff, like it bothers me a little bit because the textures are completely outdated. So one of the reasons that I just kind of want to do it like that instead, like make the exteriors very heavily inspired, but also based off of floor plans from the said decade. I just kind of only want it to apply to the exterior, and then I'll do something that sort of leans on the decade for the interior, but it's a little bit difficult for teens and children's and toddler rooms, like I mentioned before, because we're just a little bit limited with their stuff. Also, because a lot of the toys, like you wouldn't be able to use a lot of the, or yeah, use a lot of the toys, actually, like for building, because they just don't fit in with the decade. So hopefully I'm making sense right now. I feel like nothing in my life has made sense for an entire week, and I'm basically projecting it onto you. So here we are today. Everything is great. At least I've gotten halfway through my Christmas shopping, so that is a plus. Well, halfway through mine and my mom's, and then I still need to do it for my dad as well. So I'm like a quarter through Christmas shopping. See, it's going great. Christmas this year is gonna be so weird because we're gonna be like, I don't even know how many people, 15, 20, I don't know. Last year we were 4 people. It was me, my mom, my sister, and my sister's boyfriend. And this year it's going to be like 15 or more than 15. And I am going to be so tired afterwards because that is way too many people. I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to spending time with my family, but that's a lot of family members. I'm just saying that's a lot. That's a very big family. How did that happen? Why are we so many people all of a sudden? Like I don't get it. Where did they all come from? Oh, don't forget. It's like 2 kids, 1 baby, but also 2 dogs. So like there's going to be 2 dogs running around the house as well. I'm probably gonna spend more time with the dogs than anyone else. I'm not gonna lie. I'm that person, and I'm okay with it. My family understands it. It's all good. So I'm just kidding. I'll spend time with my family. I just also adore the dogs because they're so cute and nice and sweet. So I think at some point during the landscaping of this house, I actually changed it to autumn in the game, or fall, whatever you want to call it, simply because there was something about the grass was too green compared to. I'm going to talk about the redwood siding again for a second, by the way. But the grass, you'll see it in a second. I can see it on my timeline, which is why I'm bringing it up. We're basically just decorating the hallway right now, cluttering it up. I don't remember if I just do the 1 bathroom. I think I did. And other than that, we're just moving on to the exterior after this, I think. So, but I ended up changing it to autumn simply because, and you'll see that because it takes me a while for me to realize, but the red wood siding with the very, very summery green grass was hurting my eyes. Like it was so much. There's a big contrast there. You'll see it in just a second. Like as soon as I changed the season to autumn, I think I even said to myself, yeah, this feels a lot better because it was so contrasty. It was so much. Also, I did a lot of terrain paint at some point, and then I logged back in to the game, whatever. Also, I do like that white wood paneling there. The white. Why can't I say that? That was difficult. White wood siding. It looks very nice. The one from Werewolves is just generally a very nice one. But do you see what I mean? Like with the very red wood side, it's charming for the house. It looks cute. But that grass is so green. It is so green. So it looks a lot better as soon as I change the season to fall. So if it's bothering you right now, if you're like, what is going on? What is this contrast? Maybe it's just me, but it hurts my eyes. I don't like it. I'm not a fan, but I do like the red wood siding. So if you're on my side of things right here, right now, don't worry, we change it. It won't bother your eyes in just a second. But actually I find it very difficult to find colors that work with red for house exteriors. Like it was a bit of a ended up going with a lot of brown, which is very different from the original house, the floor plan picture that I found, because it was very white, and I think it was a black and white picture, so of course I can't really fully tell, but I think it was white wood paneling, and then the brick was probably like a light gray or something, and we're just going for a completely different vibe for the exterior. Yes, I'm also using Tudor wallpaper, but it's fine. It's my house. I can do what I want. This right here is just me kind of like being desperate to cover up some of that red because I was like, why is it so red? It's so cute, but why is it so red? So it works in a second. It's all good. But yeah, I was having some issues trying to figure out what colors worked with this very, very red wood siding, and I ended up going for brown, which you could argue is not necessarily the best choice, but I think it works. I think the color scheme for the exterior in the end actually turns out quite cozy and also cute at the same time. So I feel like I've been kind of stuck in either a mid-century modern or cottage vibe for the past like 2 months. All I've been wanting to build are houses from 1950s or cottages. There's no in between. That's basically it. So even for Decades Week, which I'm gonna save the other 3 houses and then I'm gonna find another one that fits in between, what was it? 1880s or 1890s? I found a house from 1880s that I want to build, or wanted is a strong word too because it's a Victorian house. I don't like Victorian houses. We're not going to get into that today. It's fine. I've talked about it before. We're not going to touch on it again, but I just quickly want to mention that I hate Victorian houses. And that's the actual like proper, like, yes, I do hate them. If you love them, you go. You know, like what you like. I don't judge you one bit, but I think they're haunted. I don't know what it is. The floor plans are weird. Staircase placement always strange. There's way too many rooms. I don't get it. And what's with the turrets? Like, I don't understand it. So that's just my opinion on haunted houses. I almost said Victorian houses, but I found a Victorian house that I wanted to build. But again, wanted is also a strong word, that I was going to build, and I'm gonna save it for when I actually do Decades Week properly, when I've had some sleep. Maybe it'll happen in December. If you really want it, like, let me know. Like, if you are like, yes, Decades Week, I need this to happen right now. Oh yes, autumn, thank you. But if you really want Decades Week more than anything, let me know and I'll try to fit it into next month at some point. We're just gonna have to move one of the other theme weeks that I planned for next month until to January instead. But where I've actually also placed some other requested theme weeks as well. I'm having a lot of fun planning theme weeks. I'm just not having a lot of fun trying to find time to actually do the theme weeks. But my intentions are good, okay? I promise. Or in this situation, it's not so much time, just like mental well-being and also physical health. Enough of that to actually sit down and do the week. But if that's a theme week that you're desperate for, let me know. And I will, if enough people say that, yes, they want that one more than anything else, I will make time for it in December because I do have those 3 houses saved and we could definitely jump into it. I'll just have to find another one that's from around 1910, 1920, or 1930, but that just gives me an excuse to go back on that website with all the archived magazines. It's so cute. If you haven't checked it out, I will see if I can find the link to it again and link it in the description box. If you're a builder, it's like heaven. I'm just saying. It's the best thing that I've come across this whole year. Like, I love it. It was like, I was a kid in a candy store the first time I found it, and it's so relaxing to just scout that website for houses. And they're also cute as well. And like, it's also retro and old and just, yes, I'm having the time of my life. I've just not been on it for like a couple of weeks now because I might have saved way too many houses already. And now I got all my plans are already done. So I'm like, I don't really need to go on the page anymore, but give me an excuse to go look for a 1910s, 1920s, or 1930s house again, and I will be very appreciative of that. So, you know, just saying. I think my computer's having another meltdown. I'm just gonna ignore it. Just like every time I say it, I always get comments like, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't hear it, but like I can hear it through my my noise canceling headphones. Also through my voice, yes. Also through my talk as well. But I can also hear it in the playback, so I don't understand how you can't hear it. I don't understand how that works. Am I hearing things? Is that what's going on? Like, is this just my imagination? I don't know. As for this little pond, by the way, I do something that I don't do a lot. I actually put animals in it. No, not the alligators or crocodiles or whatever they are, not this time around. It's just a couple of ducks. And I think there's some tadpoles as well as some fish. I thought it would be cute to just make sure that they could go out there and fish. There's also a fishing pole in the house hanging on one of the walls because I think that's a new item in the everyday clutter kit. So I haven't used it yet because fishing poles are not really, I don't really make a lot of interiors for Sims that I would imagine being fishermen, if you get what I mean. So I don't really see myself using it a lot, but since we had a pond outside, I was like, this is actually going to fit together, so I'm going to do this for a change. And yeah, there's a little bit going on there. I think I put down some of those firefly spawners as well. I don't ever use those either, but I just figured at night it would look cute, sort of. As for the little yard here, they don't really have a lot going on. I ended up placing down 3 plant pots, 3 of the bigger ones, so they can plant some trees if they're close, or if they're too close to each other, just adjust them a little bit. It's all good. And they also have an outdoors eating area, sitting area, whatever you want to call that. It's the door right here on the left leads to the kitchen, as you can see, so they can choose to either sit in the dining room or, which they don't really have, I think there's just a dining table in the kitchen, or they can choose to sit outside. So it's easy to kind of get to this area if that's what you want. But as for the rest of the video, I think we're mainly doing landscaping and terrain paint and filling up some bare areas, adding some smaller bits of foliage as well, but I think that's pretty much it. So if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box down below. Also, let me know about Decades Week. Feel free to, at least. If you read a lot and you like booktube, check out my booktube channel. It's linked in the description box as well as in the pinned comment. But that is all I got for you guys today, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!
Want your attention, this time it is for real. Oh baby, love me like you did last night. I wanna hold you till the morning comes. Oh baby, love me like you did, love me like you did. Oh baby, kiss me till I see the light, like you did last night. Found someone who is just as crazy as me, or is it just in my mind? Yet too soon.